Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to start this conversation because I've been hit by fraud a couple of times and thankfully have had measures in place to protect myself, but didn't realize just how dangerous it's out there on the streets, on the internet streets as well. Fraud doesn't just empty wallets, it steals peace of mind. It's left me at this anxious baseline. Now, this International Fraud Awareness Week, we are leaning into and learning and going to kind of hopefully empower us with Absa in our corner so that we can dig into the real cost of fraud and the stories behind those statistics, the ripple effects that we don't always get to see, and then, of course, some practical ways that we can start educating and safeguarding ourselves.
I think that's really important. We don't want you to be scared. This is not a moral panic. We definitely just want you to be prepared for what lies ahead. So join us as we unpack real case studies and also uncover how awareness can be your strongest line of defense when it comes to any sort of fraud.
Early warning one. So we've got case one. This is quite a cool one to get through. The urgent payment scam. Take a gander at that. A working parent receives a fake SMS claiming that their child needs emergency school payment. They then make the payment in panic because it's our kids, come on, and then later realize that the school never actually sent that message.
Oh my gosh.
So that's not even waiting, and often when something happens online, you're waiting for the fallout, you're waiting for your bank account to let you know that something's gone off. But in this case, immediate loss of funds, feelings of guilt, of embarrassment and shame, and I think that often kind of stands in the way of you doing there and doing something about it, which is heartbreaking in itself. And then I can speak personally from the anxiety when you then receive messages. Anything afterwards feels dodgy. And that's the problem. And now you actually need to approve something in the right way. And you're second guessing. And luckily banks, though, have adapted to make sure. But this must happen all the time, every day.
It almost sets you back 25 steps and then you see your cash under your mattress. Let's not do that. Let's make sure that we actually take a step up and get on to case two. Now, the investment promise is what it's all about. This one is about a retiree who's lured into a high-return investment scam. We've seen it time and time again via social media. Now, they invest, quote-unquote, their retirement savings over months, and then, of course, the fraudster disappears with all of their hard-earned cash. Imagine spending 60 years building up to something and then it's just gone.
I was in a police station registering a moment of fraud myself, and there was an elderly couple next to me trying to explain that exact situation to the police. The couple didn't understand, the officers dealing with it didn't fully understand. It took them into a space that very few of us know anything about. But the panic and the loss for that poor couple, I just wanted to like scoop them up and adopt them as my grandparents and try and do something about it, but it was awful.
Because can you imagine all your savings just completely gone? It puts you in a state of absolute panic, depression even, the strain, imagine, on relationships with your family, because now you're relying on them when it comes to your finances. It really is something we do not want you to experience at all.
Not at all. So just please, always put a gateway for yourself before you react to anything. Speak to your bank and your banker before you engage with any financial vehicle. So let's bring another case study to light here. This is the social engineering phone call. So the fraudster then impersonates a bank employee, which is a lot easier than we think, and uses fear tactics and insider lingo to gain trust. And they've got an algorithm script, an algorithm-driven script that they know works, that they just feed you with the right words and it happens. And then the victim unknowingly then shares sensitive info. And you're probably sharing info right now through your social media platforms that give them enough to approach you and say, okay, are you so-and-so from this area? Fantastic, we've got this, but this is happening now.
This one thing.
We just need you. And it all feels and sounds so normal.
And it's happened. I've got multiple phone calls, and you know what happens with me? It's usually women. And so you already have your guards down because you're going, okay, I can, of course, tell this warm, loving voice my entire bank details, my OTPs, it just continues. So please make sure that you don't get into that. If I can fall for this type of thing, then you definitely know that you are also at risk.
And they look good. I know courier services now are a big hit point where you'll get sent an update on a package that's coming to you that looks exactly like the last update you got. Oh no, it's missing a 9 Rand service charge that you need to put on. This is a direct account that happened to me this year. Suddenly then $9,000 worth of transaction is being pushed through one of my Play, kind of store account type things. And luckily the bank had set barriers in place. They contacted me to ask about these rather dodgy looking. So you've got to speak to your banks and you've got to shore up your cybersecurity.
Yeah, please get educated, get empowered today. Cybersecurity starts with small actions. Spot the signs, stay alert, and of course, share what you know. And here are a few top tips to avoid fraud, courtesy of Absa. Let's take a look together.